Hi there guys, Ken here, your thrifty apprentice, and welcome back to the studio. It's been quite some time since I did a video, so we're going to be doing a pretty easy composition today. I'm going to be using a painting that I did as part of the World Watercolor Month as inspiration, and we're going to be painting some candy canes. Here I am painting on my Derwent Academy 9x12 acid-free cold press watercolor paper. I'm using a 12 full pan set of White Knights professional watercolors. Now this is a Russian brand of watercolors, and though they are professional, they are on the really affordable side. You can get this 12 full pan set for about $20 to $25 depending on where you get it from. I'll see if I can't link in the video description the review for those paints, as well as a couple of places that you may be able to purchase them at if you're interested in them. Now here I'm going to be using red, yellow, green, and blue. And although I am going to do one candy cane in blue, I decided not to do any others because I really wanted to try to keep some harmony in the composition. Now you will see that I did spread the candy canes out across the full surface of the 9x12 paper, simply because I wanted to look as if though you were looking down on the candy canes. I did not show myself drawing the composition because it's pretty easy. You just draw a couple of circles and a couple of parallel lines and round them off, and then you're just going to draw in your swirl designs for the round peppermint and your stripe design for the sticks. I was trying my best to stay away from keeping it I was trying my best to stay away from it looking like a Christmas composition, and I just wanted to give it more of a fun, whimsical look and feel. Here you'll see that I'm painting in those yellow swirls. Now you're going to see that I'm not going to really do a lot of color mixing in this composition, but I am going to be using the shades in heavier consistencies in certain parts just to add a little bit more depth and roundness. I will be rounding off each of the candy cane wrappers with a very, very, very light wash of the heaviest blue color that came in this 12 pan set. So now I'm going in and adding a second layer of red to the red candy canes, just because it wasn't vibrant enough for me. And eventually I'm going to actually mix a deeper shade of red, giving it more of a crimson feel, and painting a third layer on top of those red candy canes, simply because I want it to be really rich in color. I'm going to add a second layer to the other the other colors that I have. I'm sorry guys if I can't talk. This is the first voiceover that I've done in quite a minute, so yeah, I'm kind of struggling through it. And to be honest, I kind of struggled through this composition. Now up until August, I literally painted something every single day. And with the move and the relocation from Mississippi to Texas, I did kind of fall out of practice, and I definitely felt it as I was painting this composition. And I eventually decided to turn it into a mixed media painting, simply because I couldn't achieve the depth with just the watercolor paints that I wanted. But we'll get to all of that in just a moment. So here, this is where I was telling you I mixed a deeper shade of red, and I simply used the red and put a little bit of its opposite, which is green, in it. Not enough to actually gray it or black it out, but just enough to add more depth and richness to the red itself. As far as the other shades are concerned, I really just kind of use them in a more heavy consistency. You'll see that I'm putting those darker colors like directly in the middle of each circle, on the outline of each swirl or stripe, depending on whether I was doing the circle candy or the stick candy. After that, I am going in with that really light blue of wash that I was telling you about, and just really filling in the other areas to add roundness. You'll start to see that the composition is starting to come together and have more of a 3D effect, like you would be able to pick the candy up off the paper. I'm using that same light blue wash to outline the outside of each wrapper. And I do believe I did say originally that I didn't show you guys how to draw this because it was really easy. But in the beginning of the video, you did see that the sketch was heavier. Before I started painting, I just took an eraser and lightened those lines. I'm one that tends to like the sketchy pencil lines left in my composition, but if you don't like that, you can really erase down till you can just barely see each one. Now here you're going to see this is where I was adding in the depth to the side of each stripe candy and the middle and the side of each swirl on the circle candies. And then that's pretty much going to be what I do with the paints. I took that lighter blue wash and went down the stick of the one candy cane that is actually on a stick just to show that it was round. And now what I'm doing here is using a mixture of my primary red, blue, and yellow in order to mix up a really light gray. It actually leaned more towards a pale purple or violet, but I'm using that to add the shadows in under each candy cane as they lay on the table. Now, I told you guys I turned this into a mixed media painting, which I did, and I'm going to eventually go in with some Arteza expert colored pencils and darken in that shadow just a little bit more. And then I'm going to use the black to make sure to show where the candy is actually touching the table itself with a much darker line. But we'll get to that in a minute as well. Now here I'm going to use a darker shade of yellow and lighter shade of yellow, a darker shade and lighter shade of red, a darker shade, a lighter shade of green, a darker shade, and a lighter shade of blue with my colored pencils. And basically I'm just going in and enhancing where the colors would be a little bit darker and deeper because of the way that they're laying and the light is reflecting. And then using the lighter colors, I just kind of barely, with a little pressure, ever so slightly, shade in the primary colors so that you'll have more richness. As you can see, the composition is really starting to come together more as I add in the colored pencils. And as the video comes to an end, guys, you're going to see that I take my black colored pencil and I'm going to use it to darken in each shadow. I'm going to sharpen that pencil to get a very, very fine point lead, and I'm going to darken in where the object would actually be touching the table and the shadow would be the heaviest. If you like the things that you saw in this video, don't forget to give the video a thumbs up. Go ahead and subscribe so you can keep up with the great new content that we have coming up on the channel. Don't forget to head over to the Thrifty Apprentice Facebook page and like us there, where you can keep up with everything that we do both on and off camera. As I tell you guys, don't forget to comment. Sharing is caring, so please remember to share the video. And as I tell you at the end of every single composition and video, just keep painting.